Hey guys, so just a little quick addition to the story that I was telling that led up to me firing my attorney and getting a new attorney. So let me expand a little bit on that. And this is why I say that my particular story is trying as it was, it literally could have been a movie because I can't make this stuff up. So again, I'm sort of frustrated with the way, excuse me, I'm sort of frustrated with the way that my case is going, not getting any traction. My attorney, I feel, isn't really fighting for my cause. Now that I'm back in the home, he's just content with, yeah, at least you made it back in your home. That's not enough for me because I'm suffering and the children are suffering. So I start digging into my attorney's background a little bit more. And obviously, I researched my attorney heavily before I actually retained him. But, when balls are getting dropped left and right and you start seeing that someone really isn't fighting for you, you start doing more research than you probably initially did in the beginning. So I start researching him a little bit more. And I already knew he used to be a judge in South Jersey, and now he was practicing as an attorney. That seemed to be a positive in the beginning, but at the towards the end of this, I'm started thinking like, well, why is that? Why would you, be a judge at first and then revert, for lack of a better word, to practicing attorney in another county? So I'm not going to name his name or anything like that, but come to find out, he was basically, I don't know what the term is, not disbarred because then we wouldn't be able to practice, but he basically had to give up the role of being a judge or give up his robe. I don't know what the term is. Disrobed, who knows? But anyway, he basically had to give up his gig and stint of being a judge because he got caught up in the beginning stages of like the Me Too movement, where he was accused of some sort of sexual misconduct against women at office holiday parties. I guess the county has these holiday parties for the county personnel, the judges, the clerks, whatever. He was accused on more than one occasion of being a little bit too frisky at these holiday parties, and he basically lost his job of being the judge and then transferred to another county as an attorney. And then here I come along in the beginning stages of my divorce, looking for an attorney, and he was with a reputable firm, and I happened to be the guy that gets him right off the stint of being fired from being a judge. So that's how I ended up with this character who ultimately didn't really fight for me, and sort of put me in a bad situation where I was stuck with a pendente lite order that put me on the hook for 10K, 10 grand, $10,000 of expenses every month. It put me in a ridiculous situation where I'm living in the home, but under the restriction of only being able to parent the children, quote unquote, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, which makes no sense. He didn't really advise me on how a contentious person can inflate the CIS to make it seem as though my income is way higher than what it is and her earning potential is way lower than what it is. So all of those things sort of dropped the ball on me. So nonetheless, I sent a letter to him letting him know that, thank you for what you've done, but my case requires, a more direct surgical strike kind of situation because I'm dealing with someone that is really out to get me. It's not just a simple case of a contentious divorce. It's when you're dealing with someone who's really trying to ruin you and thwart your chances of adequate fatherhood. You need a more stronger, direct approach. So I thanked him, told him I no longer need his services. At that time, I had already researched a couple other attorneys and had already selected one and had retained another attorney at that time. So when I picked up with the story where I left off, I'm now in the home still, playing it cool, wearing a GoPro camera and, spy equipment every single time I'm around, my ex. I'm just documenting all my activities in the home because remember, during this time, there's letters going back and forth sometimes to the judge where my ex is building the case under the guise that I've abandoned the home and abandoned the family and that I'm lying to everyone stating that I'm taking care of the children in the home and that I'm actually living there. So meanwhile, I'm wearing a GoPro 24/7 and I'm there every single day. So that will really come into play, and really helped me out in this case. So I can't give you any kind of legal advice, but that in my particular situation, that was a saving grace, and I'll get into that into the future. But so with my new attorney, our approach is like, okay, just keep building that status quo. Show that you are there in the home every single day. Just keep doing what you're doing. I didn't have to try to put on because this is what I've been doing. I just now am wearing something to document it to thwart any of her claims. But again, it's still very hard. It's very hostile in the home. The mother-in-law's there. She's there. She's doing little things. Both of them are doing little things to annoy me and to try to trigger me to be into a state where they could feel they have the right to call the police. That's what it was all about. They wanted me to be agitated in such a way so that they could feel, justified in calling the police and getting me removed from the home. But I wouldn't let that happen. I always kept my cool. But I'll continue the story further in the next video.